I didn't see you there. Just kidding. Of course I know you're there. Good morning and happy fucking Wednesday. And welcome to People Talk Now. I'm your host, VANESSA HERRERA, and this is a show where you ask about it and I talk about it. Oh yeah, and we're in the studio today because I decided I'm going to start recording all over the place. So, good morning, happy fucking rising. I hope you woke up with a positive attitude today, that you've said your affirmations, that you've picked all the boogies out of your eyes, and that you woke up with a powerful mindset. And if you haven't, well, I'm going to transfer some of it to you. So here we go. I'm just sending it out. Are you getting it? Okay. Awesome. Good morning. Time to wake up. So, what are we talking about today for episode 42? Okay, episode 42. And if you're new to this channel and you don't know who I am, like I just stated, I'm VANESSA HERRERA, and I'm the host of this podcast. You, me, us, we are constantly trying to change the pace out there on what these humans are calling better days. So yes, welcome. All right, so episode 42, guys, what's up? I decided that at least for one Wednesday out of the month, that we are going to be having something called Let's Talk About It Wednesday, right? And so I wanted to talk about how someone like yourself or myself or someone that we may know can stay fit for a relevantly, significantly long period of time. So, on that note, I wanted to talk about that, right? So, how do I do it? Okay? We could talk about the why I do it. And although I often find myself talking about it with like friends and family and stuff like that, I wanted to share some helpful tips that can kind of keep you on your health journey, right? So, I understand how sometimes it's just not that easy, right? Like, I get it, VANESSA. Like, sometimes I can't just get up and, and get my shit together. I get it. I'm the same way. So there's days where I don't feel it all there. I don't feel the motivation. I don't feel, it. I don't feel it. And so even though I am a person that works out, I don't always feel that motivation, right? And sometimes it's not always there. But how do I get myself there is the why. And so brings me to my first tip. For how to stay fit. So first of all, work out your why. Just don't work out. So work out the reason why you're doing it. Why? Because that why, that question mark is what's going to keep you in the workout zone, right? And so you have to ask yourself, what's the reason why you started doing it? Well, for me, I started doing it because I had certain goals in mind, right? I envisioned myself, first of all, I wanted to feel better, first of all, every morning when I woke up and got out of the bed. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel stronger. But sometimes that's not enough, right? You're like, of course, everybody wants to feel strong. But I wanted to gain muscle. So there was like a vision, a something in mind that I had an idea of what I might want to look like, right? And sure, it's nice sometimes when we go on Instagram and we see all these lovely Instagram models showing us, of what we could look like, right? But nobody ever shows moms, maybe dads, or just people who have been overweight, or people who have always been super thin and then worked themselves up to muscle and to a bigger person. Like, nobody shows moms that have had stretch marks. Nobody shows moms who have had C-section scars. Nobody shows you all of that real struggle of physical and visual things that happen to you, like mentally, right? And so outside of your future goals, you have to ask yourself, what is your long and short term goal, right? And so if you don't have the answer to your why question, then it's going to be so much more difficult for you to even continue on your health journey. It's going to be difficult for you to stay on it because you don't find any true value or any reason to keep yourself in that focus, right? In that success mindset. So are you doing it because you want to have increased energy? Are you doing it because you want to relieve stress? Are you doing it because you want to make friends? Are you doing it because you want to have some real benefit and real value in your everyday life as to work out the why as to why you're doing it in the first place, right? Because it doesn't matter what anybody shows you, what anybody says. You're not going to be able to dig yourself out of that hole to get yourself to continue being on that journey. And trust me, once you get on it, people say like, oh, working out is addicting and all that stuff. But the truth is that, yes, okay, it is addicting. It can be, but it still isn't motivating enough. There's days where you're just going to get up and you're going to feel like shit, or you're just not going to feel it. It's not there. Maybe you're a little burnt out. And so, but you know that the long-term effects of what it has had on your body and how it's changed you little by little. Because again, I want to reiterate that it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you don't get these gains, as the fucking fitness world likes to call them. You don't get these things overnight. They don't happen, you know? And so just think about that. Work out your why, the reason why you're starting this and why you want to stay fit for a considerable amount of time before you start working out. Have a good reason. Make sure that it brings value to your life when you wake up in the morning. Don't just be like, oh, I need to do this because apparently I just need to look good to fit in this modern world. No, fuck that. Your happiness comes first, all right? First and foremost. Okay, it's typical for number 2. It's typical for you to feel like you're off to a slow start, right? Like maybe the day, it's just, it's not going like you wanted to. You're just understand that if within a couple of weeks you've lost motivation, just understand that, or if you're too tired, just understand that there is so many other things that you can do other than the basic things that this world has implicated that you can do for exercise. Understand that exercise is just something that is a word that has been created to basically make us understand that we could be more active. It's a word, but where I'm trying to get at is that there is so many other things that you can think about as far as exercise goes. So there is a lot of other things that you could do, which is swimming, fast walks, hikes, gosh, the possibilities are endless when it comes to. So don't think that because you're off to this slow start that suddenly you're not meeting this certain requirement or this certain God, I'm like at a loss for words right now, because basically just because you get off to a slow start doesn't mean that you're going to finish fast and strong in the long run, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why it was so hard for me to get that out. So don't let that discourage you, okay? If you're trying to stay fit for a long period amount of time, so understand that if you're off to a slow start, that's okay. If the first couple weeks are very hard on you and you just don't feel like you can get through to the end, understand that it's normal. I felt that way myself when I first started. Sometimes it's frustrating because you don't really know what to do. You don't really know how to start. Just understand that you can and you will. and you don't need to feel discouraged. And if you do feel discouraged, ask yourself, why are you feeling discouraged? And just know that there is so many other ways for you to, I quote unquote, exercise your body, exercise your mind, and get yourself internally healthy, so that, you know, we could stop running up these doctor bills, and we can stop, you know, getting all these things that are so unnecessary because, you know, we're not feeling good internally, you know? Okay, so number 3, when it comes to, you know, staying fit for a long time, is you don't have to love it. Nobody's saying that you have to love fitness, the idea of fitness. But fall in love with the idea of feeling good, right? Fall in love with the idea of feeling stronger, of feeling better, all the your elements around you. Fall in love with the idea of you getting up in the morning and you getting out of bed and you feeling your stomach, you feeling your strength, you feeling that power that your body possesses from you, pushing your body to certain limits that you didn't even know your body had. So keep that in mind, you know? And why am I swinging? This chair is just so it's just such a comfortable chair. Okay, so you don't have to love it, but it's helpful also not to try to make yourself love things, like activities that you don't like. It's very important that if you're going to work out and you want to stay in this in the long run, understand that it's important that you do activities that make you happy and that you think are fun and that that you really enjoy, because most of the time, including myself, you know, there's been a time in my life where I really didn't feel motivated to work out and stay on my fitness, probably because I got really burnt out on like a certain thing, and I felt like, oh, if I'm not doing that certain thing, it must mean that I'm basically not gonna work out anymore, or it must mean that like this is it for me, like this is it, like, right? And so like it wasn't until I was like, wait, what the hell, like what's wrong with me? Like fitness is not a certain thing. Like you don't have to be going into a gym and like lifting heavy weights or doing all this crazy insane shit in order for you to, you know, get a certain amount of fitness into your life. But I'm saying like overall, like I was so in this idea that I had to be going there, right? And so like I just got burnt out. So it's just kind of felt like almost like I was going to a job, right? And so like I started doing more things that I love, which was like I discovered jump roping some few years back and started doing that. And thanks to quarantine, I broke my jump rope, but I also got a new jump rope. So like I love jump roping. It's just fun. It reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of, you know, jump roping, and it's just fun, you know? But I think you, the watcher, listener, need to find something that you really enjoy, that you're like, you know what, I could see myself, and get creative with your workouts, and find something that you really like and that sparks you up. You know what I mean? Like, don't stay with that mindset that if you're not going into a gym, it doesn't mean that you're working out, because that's bullshit. Because this past few months of quarantine has showed us all that, you know, well, for the people that have actually worked out and like done some physical things for their body, like health wise, I think this kind of time in our lives, 2020, has showed us like, yo, it's time to step the fuck out of our comfort zones, you know? And so like, just keep that in mind, you know, find something that you like. You don't have to love it, but just find something that you enjoy. Love is such a strong word when it comes to fitness. You know, so it's like, I love fitness. Like, no, trust me, if our bodies could just be relaxed 24/7 and just be like meditating and chill, I'm sure we'd be fine with that, right? Because even that is a form of fitness. Meditating is a form of fitness because you have to build strength in your mind not to get distracted by anything that is outside of you. And so that within itself is working out. You're working out your mind. You're teaching your mind to stay focused on the body, to stay focused on itself and nothing else outside, like the thoughts or anything. So, yes. Number 4. Okay. Be kind to yourself. You know, I know people personally, I've done it personally, where, you know, I'm in this fitness journey, and if I have a weekend where I maybe fall off, or maybe I had a soda, or maybe I had a bag of chips, or maybe I had some candy or some popcorn, or numerous of things I can think of. You know, are you one of those people that beats yourself up? Because I know that I tend to be one of those people. Like, I get so like, oh my god, I ate this, or like, I messed up the whole thing. It's like, no, be kind to yourself. It's your body. Like, your body, whether you went on a weekend where you just kind of splurge a little bit, you have to understand that it's your body. Like, you will recover. Take care of yourself. You know, I'm not saying go and splurge and just ruin everything you worked for, but I'm saying like a little treat here and there, it's not gonna impede your whole progress. Relax, you're fine. Enjoy the process, okay? Number 5, don't rely on willpower, okay? I hear this word get kind of tossed around like a dirty rag. If you need willpower to do something, chances are that you don't want to do it. You know, how do I know this? Because I used to do it. I used to be like, come on, you know, you got this, you can do this. And again, in terms of why we're doing it, why are we doing it, and what we want to get from our physical activity is that, how can you benefit from it today? How do I feel when I move? How do I feel after I move, right? Ask yourself those questions. Don't rely on willpower, because chances are, if you're already asking if you need willpower to do something, if someone's like, oh, please give me this, chances are you don't want to fucking do it. You're like, nah, bro, I don't want to do this. So ask yourself that question again. Why are we doing it? What do we want to get from this physical activity? How can you benefit from it today? How are you going to feel when you move? How do you feel after you move? Ask yourself those questions, because I feel hella good. When I get out of bed, I'm just like, yes, like I feel strong. I feel like my body, like my muscles, I'm like, yes, okay. Find a purpose. Number 6, find a purpose. Anything that allows you to exercise while ticking off other goals will help, right? So, for instance, you know, say you do a lot of squats, right? You know, find a purpose. Find a purpose as to combine something that will help you combine your physical activity with something else. So, say if you're a person that lifts things at work, right? You know, find that purpose as to that for the fitness that you do now. Find that purpose as to how this will help you at your work. If you find that lifting boxes at work has become so much easier since you started working out, shouldn't that like raise some like flags and say, hey, like, this is the purpose, like this is right here, right? If it's making something in your life easier in other parts of your job or your everyday life, then that's already like a purpose. Because if you can remember what it was like before you started your fitness journey, then you have to ask yourself, like, okay, this is a hell of a good reason right here. So find your purpose. Make it a habit, right? Number 7, make it a habit. Okay. So when you take up running, for example, right? Say you're a person that takes up running. For many people, you know, running is like a common thing to do. So just get out of the door, right? Wear your shoes. Where's your water bottle? What route are you going to take? After a while, they're no longer associated with activity. If more than anything, it becomes like a habit for you. And so you don't look at it like like, oh, I'm going to get up and run. You know that this particular habit makes you feel good. You have this purpose, and now you're making it into a habit that is good for you, that makes you feel good and makes you feel good in the morning. So make it a habit, and make it a good habit, a disciplined habit that's going to continue getting you up in the morning, and that is going to continue making you feel really good about yourself. So number 8, plan and prioritize, right? I often get this question. It's like, well, what if I don't have time to exercise? I understand that some people work, some people have 2 jobs, some people have kids, and the first thing is action planning, basically most people don't prioritize themselves sometimes, and so you have to basically plan, prioritize. If you know that you have to be out the door at a certain time, well, guess what? Either get up a few hours earlier, okay? Because let's be honest, if not, a good percentage of people, by the time you get off of work, by the time you've already dealt with all these things that are mentally draining, you're not going to feel like working out. You're not. It's not you may not give it your best effort. Now, unless you're the type of person that gets off of work and maybe you need to release some stress, then that in that particular scenario, it might work out for you. But there is a good majority of people that say, you know what? I want to get it out of the way. And most of the time, setting that foundation, like you working out in the morning, it kind of sets the tone in your day too. Because if you get your workout done in the morning, guess what? You're going to feel fucking fantastic. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel energized. Your body is going to start, your metabolism is going to start working really great. And so everything gets jolted in the morning. So I would suggest that you plan and you prioritize. If you're a person that works in the morning, then you know what? Let's go, sister. Let's go, brother. It's time to wake up, get the day started, wake up a couple hours earlier. You're the main priority. You feeling good. And if you want to stay fit forever or for a long period of time and you just want to feel good about yourself, then this is the way to go. Number 9, keep it short and sharp. All right, keep it short. A workout doesn't have to take an hour, okay? It doesn't have to take 30 minutes. If you want your workout to be 15 minutes, as long as it's a well-structured 15 minutes, it can be effective. If you're the type of person that's always pressed for time, even 15 minutes. 15 minutes times 5 days out of the week. Add that up. I don't know. Do the math. 15 times 5. No. Anyway, so yeah. Think about that. Number 10, if it doesn't work, change it. Okay? Stop it with this like, well, I tried this and, well, that's it for me. It's, I can't do it. Yeah. Does the word dramatic come to mind? Yeah, because it does for me too. So yeah, if it doesn't work, change it. If you don't like the workout that you're doing, if it doesn't work for you, if you feel like, oh, I tried this one time and it was terrible, Vanessa, oh, I can't bear it. Well, try something else, okay? If you're not a runner, okay, go on nice walks, go on a brisk walk, go on a hike, jump rope, do squats, lift some weights. God, there's so many things. You could swim, you could do kickboxing, you could do yoga, you can meditate. There's so many things that actually help you burn calories. If you need to burn calories, just look it up. You have the power of the internet in your hands right there. Look, I'm gonna toss the internet around. So yes, number 11, add resistance and balance training as you get older. Why? Because, once we get older, we tend to, lose our fucking balance sometimes. And so it's very good that you add it because we start to lose muscle mass as we get older, okay? Especially around our 30s. Anyway, so resistance training, using body weights such as press-ups, equipment, resistance bands is important because it helps keep your muscle mass, or at least slow down the loss of your muscle mass, because, we're not trying to lose this muscle mass. We're trying to stay intact. So, I would also recommend that we start adding balance challenges, because our balance is affected as we get older as well. And so if that's something that you start working on now, if you're in your 30s or if you're younger, that's great. The younger you get started, the better. I wish I would have got started a lot younger, but late 20s will have to do. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Add resistance if this is something that you want to stay fit for a long period of time, and you don't want to turn into a 70-year-old, 80-year-old person who is basically immobile and can't really do much with their lives, then I would suggest you start now. Okay. Up the ante, number 12. If you do 5K runs and you don't know if you should push faster or go further, rate your exertion from 1 to 10. And if you see these numbers go down, that's when you need to start pushing yourself a bit to go a bit faster. So definitely up the ante to build endurance in yourself and build strength. This is something that I always do. I always challenge myself. If I feel like, okay, this is starting to become too easy, I know I tend to usually get like bored. So then I say, you know what? Okay, it's time for me to push it up and kick it up a notch. Okay, so number 12, up the ante a bit. Don't stay down there. Go up. Number 13, work out at home. Y'all, come on. Oh my God, like if quarantine has not showed us a thing, it is that we can work out at home and we don't need a gym, let me tell you. I can't even show y'all right now. Like trying to show out these abs, but look, listen. If quarantine has showed us anything, is that we can work out at home. We can pick up 2 chairs and we could just go to town on those squats, okay? So, if you have carrying responsibilities, say you're in a small area at home, in a living room, it is easy to do a routine where you might have to alternate between doing leg exercises and arm exercises. But there is always things that you can use in the home, to work your glutes, your triceps, everything. As long as you start raising your heart rate, working for 15 to 20 minutes, and you can use a chair to do tricep dips, by the way. Anything that you have in your house can be helpful. So just understand that work out from home. It's possible. If you're a person that can't afford to go to the gym, or maybe you just don't have a gym membership, you haven't thought about getting a gym membership, understand that it's overrated. But if you can get it, then I would suggest, I personally, right now at this point in time, I have a love-hate relationship with my gym. If I have to wear a mask, there's no way in hell I'm going. So I've been doing just fine during this quarantine, working out from home. But if you don't mind wearing a mask, more power to you. If you love going on hikes, do that. But I'm saying, work out from home. There's nothing wrong with it. All you need is 15 to 20 minutes to get a nice sweat and get that cardiovascular going up. Okay, 14, get out of breath. We're often told that housework and gardening can contribute to our weekly exercise targets, but is it that simple? Well, the measure really is you're getting really generally hot or out of breath, and you're working at a level where if you have a conversation with somebody while you're doing it, you're puffing a bit. Well, that means that with gardening, you'll have to be doing the heavier gardening and not just weeding. If you're walking a dog, you can make it into a genuine exercise session, run with the dog, or find a routine that includes some hills, right? So get out of breath a bit. If you're not, you can take your dog for a walk, maybe start jogging a little bit, go up a hill or do anything that's going to get you out of breath a little bit, because that most likely means that you got your heart rate going up a bit. So yeah. So number 15, be sensible about illness. The general rules, if it's about the neck or a headache or a cold, while being mindful of how you're feeling, you're generally okay to do some sort of exercise. So if you're planning on doing a high intensity workout, you would take the pace down a bit. But sometimes just moving can make you feel better. So after recovering from an illness, trust your instincts. You don't want to go straight back into training 4 times a week. You might want to do the same number of sessions, but make them shorter or fewer, just because, there was times where I was working out when I had a little bit of a cold, and all I did was end up making my cold a lot worse than what it initially was. So listen to your body. Don't push yourself, especially, be sensible about when you have a cold or an illness. So yeah, that was number 15. Number 16, seek advice after an injury. If you want to stay fit forever, you have to know when, throw in the towel or basically what type of injury you have. So definitely seek advice after an injury. You don't want to get into a fitness routine and then you just like mess yourself up and then you can't really work out for a long time. So definitely number 16, seek advice after an injury. Because a doctor is basically gonna tell you, what kind of dips and stuff you should look up, you should see in the road ahead for you. So yeah. Number 17, take it slowly after pregnancy. I've had friends who, and I used to be like that. I used to always be like, oh my God, I can't wait to exercise after I have my baby and all of these things. But always ask your doctor's advice, especially after your 6-week postnatal checkup, because, you don't want to rush into things and end up, hurting yourself in the long run internally just because, you want to get those 6-pack abs, I get that a lot of women want to get those flat tummies again right after pregnancy, but trust me, when that baby comes out, the last thing you're gonna be focusing on is a flat tummy. You're just gonna be flat on your back, exhausted, wanting to take a nap as many times as you can because, yeah. So number 17, my advice. Take it slow after a pregnancy. There's things that you could do to just, get back to training, and that depends on where you're at after your baby comes out. So just take care of yourself, take care of your baby, and when you're feeling a bit more energized, slowly get back to, into a little small routine. Starting with like very basic stuff like walking and carrying your baby in a sling. So just, calm it down. Calm it down, I know, but take it from me, I've been there, okay? You don't want to end up in a bad situation to where you're hurt and then you can't take care of your baby, so number 18, tech can help. So again, it's useful to monitor your progress, right? And this is a point in time that it's good for you to use technology to your advantage. So track your progress. There's so many apps now that can help you track your progress of like where you're trying to go, how much weight you're trying to lose. There's even there's scales now that like track your progress. They measure your BMI, your body fat, it measures your, I think your water in your body, everything. And I mean, you can find them on just about anywhere now, Amazon, Walmart, God, you name it. But just track your progress and trust me that it makes all the difference. Even if you got to go old school and you got to write it in a notebook, that's fine. Do that. Just understand that when you go back, and if you have one of those days where you're just not really sure, like damn, like I don't know if I could do this, or like I don't know about any of this, just understand that going back and seeing like the progress that you've made is gonna make you want to keep going, because there's something about seeing like a list of all of the work that you've done and how far you've come and what your goal is, right? That just makes you just want to continue going, So definitely keep that in mind. So number 19, okay? Winter is not an excuse, and we are nowhere close to winter, but I had to bring that up because, be decisive and try not to think about the cold, any rainy situations. It's the same with going to the gym. The voice in our head always makes us feel like it's a hassle, but once you're there, you think, why was I even procrastinating about it? And the reason why I say this is because, like, cold, rain or shine, whether you're going out to a gym or not, this is probably more directed towards people who go to the gym, is that it's you. Like, that's a part of you that, it's that little procrastination side, or a part of you that just wants to make excuses as to why you just be better off staying home. Or if you are going to do a workout at home, you're just like, oh, I'm home, I don't want to, do this. Or you find all these reasons as to why you shouldn't do it. So just, if, winter's not an excuse, summer's not even an excuse, even quarantine is not an excuse. Like, you can get a good workout in that's going to make you feel good about yourself, and most of the time after you're done, you always end up asking yourself, like, why did I even think that was even so hard in the first place, So definitely don't make excuses. Number 20, keep it bite-sized. What do I mean by bite-sized? So I feel like I've tried and I failed so many times, trying to establish like a consistent, routine, right? Like a workout routine, exercise routine, because I know how I feel afterwards. I feel energized. I feel fucking fantastic, right? And I can actually attest to that. So, but because I always tend to push myself too hard, right? I always tend to push myself too hard, and then, just because, let's say just because maybe you can run for an hour doesn't mean that you should. I don't know. Just because you can run for an hour doesn't mean that you should. Running 2 or 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes each time has improved, not only my fitness, right? Like, but it's made it easier to fit it in, because, you make it bite-sized. You make your workout session to where you can handle it, right? So make it bite-sized. Don't overwhelm yourself, and do small little chunks at a time, because those small little chunks will add up over time, and you will see the progress as long as you keep it up, Number 21, reward yourself. Okay, reward yourself. I don't know, what's something that you would want to reward yourself with? Me personally, oh god, I can't even think right now, like, I'm fasting. Okay, you can reward yourself with, I would reward myself with a donut. I don't know, but let's see. Yeah, so I don't know. I that's like blanked out right now, but reward yourself with something that, like, you feel like it's gonna make you feel good about all the work that you're putting in, right? So reward yourself, whether it's a donut, whether it's a little treat here and there. Reward yourself, right? Because what you're doing takes discipline, and it takes commitment. So number 22, so call in the reinforcements. If you find that you're having a very difficult time staying in it, you know what, man? Go to YouTube, listen to fitness podcasts. I'm not a fitness podcast, but I talk about fitness here and there. I try to motivate you guys and do what I can, do my part, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like when you don't feel it. I know what it's like when you just don't feel it there. So maybe you need to call in the reinforcement. So our brain responds very well to repetition and reinforcements. So once you've made that initial change to just say, you know what, okay, like, I'm gonna go ahead and go through with this, it becomes much easier over time, and then you're not gonna feel that need to, like, call people up for help or look to online motivation things, because it's just gonna become part of you. You're like, yo, this is who I am, and this is what makes me feel good. So definitely number 22, if you feel like you're lacking that drive, you got to go find things that are gonna push you to go. Use visual motivation. What do I mean by that? So It's very helpful sometimes if you keep like a chart. If you're the type of person that loves charts and you're all geeking out over charts, which I sometimes can be like that still, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so keep a calendar, have you know, your exercise goal, and like if you see it, you see it on your wall, you're gonna feel motivated because you're basically tracking your progress, and put it somewhere where like you constantly can see, and you're walking out of the door and you're like, oh my god, like really, like oh my god, like and it's kind of similar to you getting apps that like help you stay on track. It's similar to things that are digital that help you, but this one's more like physical because you could touch it, you could see it visually every day and it motivates you. So definitely use a visual motivation method. Keep something that's going to constantly remind you of why you started this journey in the first place and how far you've actually came, and just it's keep a star chart. Keep a chart. No chart, I said chart. Keep alarms out of reach. Number 24. Say if you need to get up early to exercise and it just doesn't happen, move your alarm clock away from your bed and next to your kit. And once you've got up, turn it off, and you might as well keep going. Why do I say keep alarms out of reach? Because if you're a person that wakes up to an alarm and you know that you intended to work out, keep it out of reach where it's going to force you to get your ass out of bed and go turn it off. And I'm talking about like all the way across the room, so that you have to get up and your heart and everything, your brain has to start waking up because you're going to have to go turn it off if it's bothering you that much. So yes, keep alarms out of reach. If you want to stay on this fitness journey, definitely keep them out of reach. And number 25, follow the 4-day rule. What do I mean by that? I have one simple fitness rule that I am following, and that is, and then you can apply this to any fitness activity. So I do not allow more than 4 days to elapse between sessions, and that doesn't matter what it is. Whether you do workout videos at home, whether you do weights at home, whether you go to the gym, whether you jog, or whatever your exercise preference is, don't allow 4 days to elapse. Why? Because your body will start to basically recognize that feeling. And if you're a person that wants to stay in the fit, in the health category, I would definitely suggest that you do not allow that. Now, unless for whatever reason, there's an exception of maybe you got an injury or an illness, or family emergency, then I suggest you stick to that 4-day rule. But aside of those 3 things that I mentioned, like it's something like that, family emergency, you have an injury or an illness, then of course, squash that 4-day rule. Don't worry about it. But these are the 25 tips that I have to offer that can definitely help you stay, that can help you stay fit, that can help you stay in it, right? Now, those are just my tips. I have so much more I could always constantly talk about, but, I'm going to go ahead and talk about intermittent fasting just because I'm trying to move this along, because I understand that some of you may be at work or you're in commute somewhere, or I don't know where you're watching me right now or where you're listening to me, but I understand. So let's move right along. So I wanted to talk about intermittent fasting, or fastiness, like the the community likes to call it. So I constantly get asked, what are the benefits of fasting? So let me just break them down to you really right quick, so that way you can basically decide for yourself if that's something that you'd want to do. And it's really quite that simple. So here we go. Some of the supported health benefits of intermittent fasting include the following. So when you fast, you get weight and body fat loss. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, increased fat burning. Number 3, it lowers your blood, insulin, and sugar levels. Number 4, it possibly can reverse type 2 diabetes. Also, possibly it can, number 5, it can possibly improve mental clarity and concentration. I feel like that's one of the things that it helps me with the most when I decide that I'm going to do fasting. I only do it for like a couple reasons, and that is because I either had a couple days where maybe my stomach's been hurting. I've been having maybe say I was having stomach issues, or I want to have mental clarity. So those are like one of the 2 reasons why I would fast. I fast not because I want to lose weight, but because I want to be really focused and have that mental clarity, and I want my stomach bloating or something to go away, and it really helps. So yes. So number 6, it increases energy. I feel super energized right now. So I feel good. It possibly increases growth hormone, at least in the short term. Possibly can increase your blood cholesterol profile. So okay. So number 9, sorry, I was over here counting. Number 9, possibly a longer life. And number 10, possibly activation of cellular cleansing by stimulating autophagy. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Ugh. So yes, it basically is saying that it can cleanse your cellular inside. And number 11, possibly reduction of inflammation, which I know that to be true because I notice most of the time, like say if, like I said, I've had those couple days where my stomach, I've had maybe some issues because I feel like I'm really sensitive to like too much fiber. So what will happen to me personally, it's like my lower abdomen will sometimes get inflamed. And so like fasting for a couple of days sometimes really, really helps. So that's something that I would definitely suggest if you've been thinking about fasting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So I hope that any of the 25 tips that I've said here today really help you to consider if it's helped you think about staying fit for a long period of time and things that you can do, and you don't have to feel overwhelmed. And I hope that some of the things that I mentioned here today helped you look at fasting, because those are just the common things that fasting can help with. And so definitely if you've been considering fasting, I would say do your research, look up more fasting articles and get informed, because it's really helpful. And I truly believe that we weren't really supposed to be eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, we're not supposed to be snacking as much as we do all day, every day. So definitely look into that, get informed, do your research, go online, and start looking this stuff up, because intermittent fasting is very beneficial. And though, there's a lot of people that will tell you it's not, and that all these things that happen to you, but I'm here telling you, like, personally, nothing has happened to me. I've tried it, I don't fall, I don't faint, nothing happens. If anything, I feel a lot stronger, which is really crazy. I almost feel like I drank a pre-workout or something, and I'm just running a natural life, because my brain has so much power. Because when you put something in your body and into your stomach, what does our stomach naturally do? It starts automatically breaking down the enzymes in our stomach. Everything just starts working to break down that food. And so your body is actually using energy. And so when you don't have anything in your body has to take things from you, right? Like your body, its concentration levels are so much stronger than it typically would be. And so, that's definitely something to consider if you've wondered what are some of the benefits, like I just stated previously, those are all some of the benefits of what intermittent fasting can do for you. So yes, thank you guys so much for listening and watching today's show. If you have any questions for me or anything regarding today's show, please feel free to email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com. And yes, so you guys, as always, you guys already know that I love sharing a joke and a word of the day. And so I really encourage you guys to send me jokes in, send them to me. If you have People Talk Now on IG, DM me, drop me all your jokes, because I am not doing too good on jokes, because some of these jokes that I pull up from the internet are like, ugh. So, I don't have any jokes. The only joke I got for today is Rona. The Rona. That's it. It's the only joke I got. Oh, fuck. Okay. So anyways, let's, fuck the joke of the day today. We're not going by the book. If you didn't think the Rona was funny, well, you know what? The fuck? Do I look like I got a little red nose? Okay. So today's word of the day is
fraternize.
Fraternize. I feel like I've heard it before. So today's word of the day is fraternize. So fraternize is spelled Fraternize. Fraternize means to associate or mingle as brothers or on fraternal terms. To associate on close terms with members of a hostile group, especially when contrary to military orders. To be friendly basically, or amiable. Did you know both fraternize and fraternal, meaning of relating to or involving brothers, comes to us by the way of medieval Latin, from Latin frater, meaning brother. Other frater descendants in English include friar, fraternity, and confraternity, a society devoted especially to a religious or charitable cause. Even brother itself shares a relationship with frater. These days, although fraternize can still refer to a brotherly association or simple friendliness, and often occurs in contexts such as fraternizing with the enemy, implying friendliness towards someone who would be better avoided. So yes, that was the word of the day, fraternize. Fraternize? Did I say that right? Fraternize? Fraternize?
Fraternize.
Fraternize, yes. Go and use the word fraternize this Wednesday morning. Using a sentence, hashtag People Talk Now, and let me know how you use it in a sentence, We've gotta build up our vocabulary here. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys, I appreciate you guys listening to my show every Wednesday morning, every weekend and week out. I appreciate all the constant love and support from all of you guys and gals and pups and kittens. And yes, so if you're new to this channel and you don't know who I am, hi, I'm VANESSA HERRERA, and I'm the host of People Talk Now. And yes, don't forget, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share it. And yes, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope today's show was really informative, or it helped you in some sort of way to get back on your fitness journey. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, and have a kick-ass Wednesday. Bye.